Instructions, we take them seriously, most especially when they come from someone in authority, someone we revere and hold in high esteem because we assume they should know. But what if not everyone in authority should have our listening ears because they are pure evil? A young man took a prophet's instruction seriously, and that instruction ended the life of a promising young lady whose life was cut short in a very tragic way. Indigents and residents were thrown into a state of panic and confusion when the body of a young woman was exhumed from a well in a rather peaceful and friendly community in southwest Nigeria. But little did they know that further investigations will reveal even more horrific details of a gruesome crime that happened in their neighborhood. Today's case takes us to the ancient town of Ikoile in Osun State, Nigeria, where a young lady's decomposing remains were found. And at the center of the crime was the deceased boyfriend, who did not act alone. Let's dive straight in. On Sunday, December 8, 2019, 22-year-old Favour Daley-Oladele, a 400-level undergraduate of the Department of Theatre Arts, Lagos State University, departed for school after a short visit to her parents in Mowe, Ogun State. Her final year exams were to commence the following Tuesday, which made her parents excited and proud. But unbeknownst to her parents, that would be the last time they would see their beloved daughter alive. Before leaving, she told her parents that she would stop to see a friend on her way to school and will call them when she arrived. However, when no phone calls came from her, as she promised, the parents began to call her phone number. In vain, they tried to reach her for 2 days. As a result, they became anxious and decided to visit her at school to ensure all was well with her. But they were shocked when they were told at the university that she had not been seen. Her worried family headed straight to Mowe police station to declare their daughter was missing. And the process to find her started immediately. The police began by tracking her phone, and though her SIM card had been swapped, they located the phone at Ikoile, Osun State, some 270 kilometers away from her parents' house. The question is how and why Favour's phone ended up in Osun State, which was over 3 hours away from her parents' home. It turns out that on that fateful day, she received a phone call from her boyfriend, Owolabi, to visit him in Ikoile. She asked for directions on how to get there, which Owolabi willingly provided. When they met up at a popular hotel in the area, Owolabi made a request. He said he would like her to meet his uncle, and even though Favour was exhausted from her journey, she obliged. Owolabi took her to a church to meet his uncle, but after a short while, she said she would like to rest a little as she was tired. He spread out a piece of cloth for her to lie down, but she was unaware of the horror that was ahead of her. Back to the police investigation. A tracker traced Favour's phone to a secluded area in a thick forest in Ikoile. Inside was a Cherubim and Seraphim church known as Solution Salvation Chapel, which was headed by 42-year-old Prophet Segun Phillips, Owolabi's supposed uncle, who was with her phone. During the police raid, the pastor confessed that he and Owolabi had killed and used Favour for ritual purposes. He told police that Owolabi was within the community, so some police officers went in search of him. Some others were stationed at the church, which was now a crime scene. While some detectives went in search of Owolabi, Favour's dad, who accompanied the police, spotted something suspicious in the church premises. It was a half-dug well. When detectives dug the pit and exhumed the remains of the victim, Pastor Daley-Oladele, who was Favour's father, was beyond devastated. Residents were in complete shock that such atrocities were committed in their secure community. Following his arrest, Owolabi confessed to police detectives that he had lured his unsuspecting girlfriend to Osun State under the pretense of spending time with her and also introducing her to his uncle, a gesture she probably presumed was a sign of love, and commitment. So who is Owolabi? He's a 23-year-old undergraduate in the Department of Sociology at Lagos State University, the same institution as Favour. He was unable to graduate with his classmates because they had a carryover and was retaking an exam in order to graduate. According to Owolabi, they just started dating sometime in November 2019, nearly 2 months before he took her life. Owolabi was the only child of Bola Adeeko and her husband. After his father lost his job, his mother became the breadwinner. When his mother's business as an event decorator began to nosedive, he visited Segun Phillips. Owolabi actually met this pastor a few years earlier through his aunt, but had only gone to see him previously for the interpretation of his dreams. But as the family's economic situation worsened, he became desperate, and in his words, he wanted to help his mother. Adeeko decided to perform a money ritual without her knowledge as a way of rewarding her sacrifices. Those were his words. Segun Phillips said that to change the family's fortune, specifically his mother's business, he would need to sacrifice a human being for rituals. Owolabi recounted the events of December 8, 2019. He had called Favour to meet him at Ikorile so they could be together. When she arrived at a local hotel, she complained that she was tired and needed to rest. Owolabi told her that they first needed to visit his father's younger brother before she could rest. A complete lie. His real plan was to take her to Prophet Segun Phillips. Once they arrived at the church, Favour again said she needed to sleep, and Owolabi told her to lie down inside the building. While she slept, he struck her head with a pestle, killing her instantly. After confirming she was dead, Pastor Segun proceeded with dismembering and harvesting her organs. Her heart was used in preparing a concoction for him and his mother to eat. Owolabi maintained that his mother did not know the true nature of the concoction, believing it was prepared from goat organs. Philip actually now told the police that he used the lady's heart to prepare a concoction for Owolabi and his mother. During interrogation, Segun Phillips revealed that the two breasts were used to prepare soap for Mrs. Adeeko to bathe with. The soap, according to him, was a charm for victory. Both Owolabi and Segun Phillips claimed that Mrs. Adeeko was deceived into thinking the meal was made from goat meat. The pastor said he charged 250,000 naira for the ritual but was paid 210,000 naira in advance. Owolabi's mother, Bola, insisted that she had no idea a human being had been sacrificed for her sake, repeating that she had been told the concoction was prepared from goat meat, telling her to help her to attract clients. She ate a small portion, but she said she vomited, unaware the human body parts had been used in its preparation. In her testimony, she said it was difficult to tell the nature of the meat because the concoction had been mixed with several other repulsive ingredients. She said she gave the pastor 210,000 naira to buy a goat whose meat would be shared by the residents in the community where the church was located. Days later, when she couldn't find her son or the pastor, she went in search of them only to discover that her car had been impounded by the police. When she reported to the station at Osun, she was arrested and later taken to Ogun State, accused of being part of the murder ritual. There were reports that Favour was 4 months pregnant when she was tragically killed, but this was not verified by Owolabi. It's also not clear whether Owolabi started dating Favour to use her for rituals or whether they had started dating before he thought of the devilish plot. Segun Phillips was asked where he learned this devilish trade and also why he did not use it to enrich himself instead. He answered that the man who taught him told him never to use it for himself, his family, or anyone close to him. Favour was fondly described by her father as a golden girl because she was giving birth to after many years of delay and was close to graduating when her life was cut short by someone whom she trusted. The CNS Church released a statement that there were no records where Segun Phillips was associated with the church and officers of the church in the local government area of Osun State. where he committed the heinous crime. The three suspects were initially arraigned in November 2020 before an Osun State Magistrate Court on 2 counts of conspiracy and murder. Their case was later transferred to the High Court in Ikire. On July 17, 2023, Justice Christina Obadino of the Osun State High Court found Daley-Oladele and Segun Phillips guilty of conspiracy and murder. She sentenced both men to death by hanging for murder and to 14 years imprisonment for conspiracy. Mrs. Daley-Oladele's mother was found guilty of eating human flesh and sentenced to 2 years in prison. Please share your comments on this case. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.